Hello, my lovelies. Are you struggling with grudges? And by grudges, I mean holding on to grudges and refusing to let them go. Trust me, I have been there before. So let's talk about it a little more and learn how to let go of these feelings of resentment and bitterness, because honestly, they're not doing us any good. So I, like a lot of people, really struggled with letting go of grudges. Mainly, like, I had a tendency to just hold on to like feelings of anger or even sadness or bitterness towards somebody. I would let those experiences kind of like taint my interactions with that person moving forward. Because of course, like, you hold a grudge and that's like the first thing that pops into your head when you see somebody, right? It's like,
oh, that's that person who annoyed me.
Or who said this, or who did that, and I didn't like it. So then you kind of bring that with you in every interaction with them. But something that I honestly noticed is the issue with holding grudges is that sometimes you're not only letting it affect your relationship with the person who you feel wronged you in some way, but a lot of times it bleeds out into other relationships in your life. In the sense that, say you were in a relationship with somebody and they lied to you and you found out about it and it really hurt you, and maybe the relationship didn't work out, you broke it off with them, whatever it may be, and then you hold a resentment towards that person. You're like, that person's a liar, like, you can't trust them, like, they're awful, and you hold that grudge and resentment against that person. But then maybe in other future relationships, you start to either mistrust, or you're more guarded, or you don't feel comfortable opening up to your next partner because of what happened in the past, because you're still holding on to that like anger and sadness and bitterness about what happened. So it not only ends up affecting you, but it ends up affecting your other relationships as well. And I was the person who I would hold grudges like nobody's business. It's like, oh, you did something to upset me, boom, you're out of my life, and I'm never gonna forget what you did. Because honestly, it was almost like a protective mechanism for me, because I'm like, I was wronged, I was hurt, I don't want it to happen again, so I'm going to guard myself and not even give this person the opportunity to hurt me again. But at the same time, I'm also gonna guard myself from everybody else. And why does everybody else need to be punished because of something that one person did, right? So that's one of the ways that holding a grudge can affect us and hurt us. What really helped me to let go of holding grudges against people is something that I've said before in some of my other videos, is asking myself, like, is this doing me any good? Like, I've said that before about negative thoughts that pop up in your head. Like, you think a negative thought and you have a hard time letting it go, but then you ask yourself, like, me holding on to this, like, what good is it doing me? So it's the same thing with grudges. Like, why continue to hold a grudge against somebody? Like, is it making you feel good? Is it making you feel superior to that person? That's something that you can ask yourself. Do you think that you're punishing that person by holding on to a grudge? Because I think a lot of the times when we hold grudges against people, we think that we're like punishing them, like, oh, I don't like you now, I'm gonna hold this grudge against you and never let it go. But honestly, from what I've noticed, a lot of the times the person that you're holding a grudge against either doesn't even know you're holding a grudge against them, so that kind of defeats your purpose, right? Or two, they don't care. What is the purpose then of holding a grudge against someone? Because if they don't care, or they don't even know about it, then like all you're doing is causing yourself more stress, because then you like focus on it whenever you see that person or when you think about it, and you get angry and upset or bitter, and that's affecting you, like, internally, emotionally. It's not affecting anybody else. So why hold on to it? And something that's honestly helped me kind of let go of feelings of anger or sadness or bitterness against somebody is just reminding myself, like, this is just another human, just like me, just like how I'm flawed and I've made mistakes and I've upset people before in the past. This person is no different. You don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what they're carrying with them. And that's the most important part. When I started working on my emotional intelligence, that truly really helped me kind of like let go and not care so much about situations that may otherwise have aggravated me, is just realizing, like, I don't know what this person's carrying with them. What if they're going through something, not just like personally, but maybe there's something going on in their family. Maybe they're struggling with something. Maybe they have some past trauma that they're carrying with them that is the reason that they act this way or the reason they speak a certain way to people. And you don't know the backstory, you don't know what they're going through. And on top of that, not everybody is on the same journey as you. So even though you may say to yourself, well, I would never say that, or I would never do that to somebody, 100%, I agree. There have been times where somebody has done something to me and I'm like, how could they say something like that? I could never say that to somebody. But then you have to step back and realize they're not you. Each person is different. So you can't expect somebody to have the same reaction as you would in any given situation, because we're all so different and we're all each carrying different things. Try to remind yourself of that the next time you're like, feeling a grudge festering and you're having a hard time of letting go of a certain situation or of something that somebody said or did to you. Just remind yourself, like, I don't know what this person's going through. That doesn't mean that it's okay, but you can, let it go. It's all about acceptance versus resistance, right? I recently did a video about this. If you haven't seen it, you can go check it out. But sometimes just accepting a situation for what it is instead of resisting it just makes it easier to let it go. Again, that doesn't mean that you're like, I'm going to be best friends with this person. No, you just accept, like, okay, they said this or they did this. I didn't like it. There's nothing I can do to change it. It already happened. So I'm just going to accept it. It happened and I'm going to let it go. Carrying it with you is going to negatively impact you more than it's going to impact the other person. So just brush it off. I think it's so much better when we can move on with our days and our lives without letting, the things that other people say get to us, because the way people react and the things that they say a lot about the things that they're carrying as opposed to what it really says about us. So just remember that. I hope you found this video helpful. I just randomly wanted to talk about this today. I don't know why, it just popped into my head. So I'm like, let me film this. I'm in a different location of my apartment today, if you can't tell if you're not new to this channel. So this is the view from our living room. I hope you find it as calming and serene as I do. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new here to this channel, I post videos about self-love and fashion every week, so you can go check those out on my channel as well. Remember, let go of those grudges, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Love you!